Well, the man will meet you by the old burned-out church near the Delta, Tuesday at dawn. He's agreed to your choice of weapons, and me as your second. I watched him practice, Tom. He's good. They say Lamat's the finest swordsman in Paris.
This isn't Paris. This is Louisiana. In Louisiana, we don't duel with one hand behind our back. Thank you, Neil.
Thomas, come quickly. Lady, doctor's already here.
She was in the garden when it happened.
I heard.
She doesn't have long, Sir Thomas.
These journeys all must end, Thomas. Where is the little boy who glared at me so defiantly? Where is little Chalk Hollister now? Do you remember, Thomas? Do you? Leave the tray, please.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your name?
Chuck Hollister.
That's a funny name.
My full name is Thomas Chuck Hollister, but my parents called me Chuck.
Where are your parents?
They're dead, ma'am. They were killed. Murdered.
Oh. My husband and my son were named Thomas. They're dead, too. I'm on my way home to New Orleans. I live there. That's all. Thank you. Little Chalk Hollister, who lives in Virginia City. I took quite a chance. Quite a chance. I know you will be returning to Virginia City. You have things you must do.
It's unfinished, Mother.
Oh, have I become your mother at last? Are you mine? Are you Sir Thomas Earl, Knight of the British Realm? Or are you Chalk Hollister from Virginia City?
I'm Sir Thomas Earl.
I wonder.
They asked you not to leave. Because you are not Chalk Hollister anymore. Winfield gave you a new life, Thomas. Sent you to the finest schools in England. You have the grace of a knight.
What about honor, Robert?
What about you, Thomas? Will you forgive yourself?
Look at this!
It's a silver box!
Well, if it ain't, I'm gonna get cooked from you, Grease. Come on, let's send him off. Hooray! Hooray! Look at that! Silver! Yes, sir!
We did it, Melissa! We did it! We stuck it red! What do we do now?
We gotta get into Virginia City and have Dan check and see how good this stuff really is.
It's really silver, really!
I'm positive. It looks like silver, and it feels like silver, and it better spin like silver. It damn well better!
Erich, das Pferd, los, und sei höflich.
Sorry I'm late.
Good morning.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Winfield?
Sir Thomas, this is Herr Klaus.
Herr Klaus?
Sehr angenehm. My wife, Hilda.
Guten Morgen.
How do you do? Would you excuse us a moment?
Yeah, I wait inside.
What I would like you to do, Mr. Winfield, is notify the Bank of Virginia City that I will be arriving there within 2 weeks, and that I will want to make banking arrangements. I'll need a letter of unlimited credit.
Yes, sir.
Also, I'd like you to purchase for me $100,000 worth of silver bullion.
That might take several weeks, Sir Thomas.
I'm willing to pay $1 a pound over the current rate, provided it's sitting in your bank by tomorrow evening. I'll give you instructions as to how to ship it.
Then I'd better get started right away. In case you'd like to make arrangements to buy out this fellow Klaus, set the terms and I'll close the sale for you.
Thank you.
Natürlich gleich.
I understand from Mr. Winfield that things have not gone well for you.
Ja, leider. It is very hard.
Bitte schön.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's my wife and son. We must lose everything.
Not necessarily, Herr Klaus. I have a plan. And if you agree to my terms, I'll see to it that you won't lose your brewery. In fact, I'll see to it that you prosper.
And what is it you require of me for this favor?
Your loyalty, your silence, and for 2 weeks, the use of your brewery. Very impressive. I don't think I've seen better.
These horses are bred from the finest Arabian stock. They're the fastest horses in New Orleans, perhaps the whole country. I've been working with them since this morning.
Will they take to the carriage?
Well, perhaps. They're both unusually fine horses, and it looks like they'll train easily. My training facilities are in Baton Rouge. If I could get hold of the carriage you'll be using, perhaps. It is possible.
I'll have somebody from the plantation deliver the carriage. I'll take the riverboat from New Orleans up to Baton Rouge. I'll pick up the horse and carriage there.
My man will be on the wharf when the boat arrives.
O God, whose mercies cannot be numbered, accept our prayers on behalf of the soul of thy servant departed, and grant her an entrance into the land of light and joy in the fellowship of thy saints, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
When we first met, you asked me if I wanted to come and live with you. Quite defiantly, I told you that I'd been bought by the ship's captain for $50. You said I was worth at least $100. You said we would be good for each other, could help each other. I pray for a portion of your dignity and grace, and of your capacity to love. It was a privilege to be your son, Mother. Thank you all very much.
When are you leaving?
Tomorrow.
Have you forgotten your duel with Count Lamont?
Completely. You cancel it for me, would you, Neil?
Tom, it's a debt of honor.
I have a greater debt of honor. Much greater. Anna. Nina, you take care of yourself. Fred. Teresa. God bless you.
Thank you.
JP, you don't let Teresa work you too hard. Huh? Thad. Good luck, boss. Gloria. I hope you all stay on. I've made arrangements with the bank to keep things up, and I should be back within a year. You took me in and treated me like one of your own, and I'm grateful for that. You take care of things? Where are you going?
Lady Earl asked me to watch over you, Thomas. That's difficult to do from the front porch.
Thomas, I'm from Dennison's. It's been done, sir. They're still a mite skittish, but they have been broken to the yoke.
They look fine. Thank Mr. Dennison for me.
I'll do that, sir. We'll teach this fellow the importance of his commitments. You seem to have forgotten your appointment. I had to chase you all the way here.
I don't want this contest, Lamont.
You have been challenged, sir. Respond.
Look, we both had too much to drink. I don't even remember what the slight was.
You really are a coward.
It would be foolish for a Louisiana farmer to cross swords with one of the finest blades in Paris. Please, dueling at night is against all the rules of chivalry. Not to mention Louisiana state law. This isn't Paris, my dear Lamont.
You are a coward and a pig. And your mother is a moldering rot on the countryside.
You've made your point. Let's get it over with.
We're really gonna fight.
Dad says we're gonna have a big house and lots of horses. And Mr. Kenton at the SA office says our silver's pure.
We got new rabbits out by the barn. I saw them yesterday. There's one with white ears and a white tail.
Supper's ready. Aren't you two finished yet? Melissa, I want you to help Chalk feed the chickens.
I did, Ma.
We're coming. When I go to town, you're supposed to do the chores. Ma doesn't know you got that doll out here, I bet. You're supposed to be working, not playing. Come on.
Burn them out.
Pa, there's men.
Hollister!
Outside, come on.
Hollister! This is Zach Bodine! You come out! You ain't gonna be hurt! Hollister! You ain't gonna be hurt! You come on out! No guts! You had no guts, Kevin!
Your family?
My mother and father. Sometimes I close my eyes and try to see their faces, and I can't. Then in the middle of the night, I see them all so clearly, and I wake up and my heart's pounding. They killed my family. Stole our mine. I promised myself I'd come back here and kill them. Promised my father and my mother and my sister. I never found my sister. I couldn't bury her. I looked and I looked and I couldn't find her. She was gone.
elegant, Robert.
A mere reflection of your true self, Sir Tom.
Yes, sir. May we help you?
I'm Thomas Earl. I believe you have a reservation here cabled from New Orleans.
Sir Thomas, of course. We were notified that you were coming. We have our premier suite reserved along with attendants.
I won't require attendance. It's dusty. I'll need my driver quartered near me.
I'll have your things put in your room. The man will show you up. I hope you enjoy your stay at the Virginia house.
If I don't, you'll be the first to hear about it.
Lovely! Exquisite! It will be fine, thank you. You will receive your gratuities at the end of our stay.
Sir Thomas, welcome to Virginia City. The Bank of New Orleans has cabled me of your journey. My wife and I would enjoy your company at dinner the first night you arrive. Daniel Kenton, President, Bank of Virginia City.
Sir Thomas, you honor us by coming. I'm Daniel Kenton, President of the Bank of Virginia City.
How do you do?
We are delighted to have you as our guest. Won't you come inside and meet my family? My wife, Dory, and my daughter, Regina. May I present Sir Thomas Earl?
John. You are lovely, my dear.
Why, thank you.
I took the liberty of inviting some of the leading citizens of Virginia City over to meet you.
For me?
Come inside and let me introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sir Thomas Earl. Sir Thomas, the good folks of Virginia City. May I present our sheriff, William Baines. He also happens to own half the town, at least the half that Alex Sheridan and I don't own. He's going to run for governor in 2 years.
Ah, governor.
Nice to meet you.
I never did get too interested in politics. I'm a poet. Now, when I was in school in London, I did once write a rather nice political verse. Let me see now, how did it go? The King of France has lost his pants and half the fleet of John Lafitte. Oh, in London they talk politics incessantly. They're also worried about this scruffy labor movement. The Queen seems quite in an uproar about it all personally. I find the whole thing terribly boring.
Well, we use coolie labor out here. One of them Chinese tries to set up a union, you know. We set them up between two horses and then aim at a tree. Of course, then this ain't London.
No, it isn't. But you have precisely the right method. I must remember to write Vicky and suggest it to her. Maybe in verse.
Vicky.
Queen Victoria.
Sir Thomas, may I present Alex Sheridan? He and I own the Silver Queen mine, which was really the first major strike out here.
Ever since Dan here got you wired that you were coming, I've been looking forward to meeting you, Sir Thomas.
No, thank you.
You know, I'd hoped to be able to talk to you about business. This country's growing, and a lot of opportunities
Alex,
here.
this is pure social.
I'm afraid I'm quite the silly one of business. It confuses me terribly. I am, however, interested in perhaps buying a silver mine. I do so love silver. I have the most charming little collection of polished silver animals, about so high, made in France. They are...
Sir Thomas, this is Alex's son, True Sheridan. He went to school in London 2 years back.
It was Brighton, actually.
Oh, yes, Brighton used to be excellent.
has become quite ordinary of late. They're taking the sons of mere merchants.
Do you fence at all, Sir Thomas? I've kept in trim. Perhaps you and I could work up a little match.
Well, of course, I have been schooled in it, but I find that when one engages in sword play, one tends to get hurt. And I simply abhor bloodshed, especially my own.
You aren't saying that you are a coward, are you, Sir Thomas?
No. I prefer to think of myself as a man who has a job to do and who will not be provoked into needless conflicts until it is done.
And what job are you doing?
I'm trying to pluck every flower in the garden of, shall we say, life.
True is courting Regina, so you want to watch that's one flower you don't pluck.
Oh, quite. He might run me through with a sword.
Good night, Sir Thomas.
Good night.
Thank you. Now, what do you think? He might be just the answer for Alex and me.
Yeah, well, I don't like it. I got a feeling.
I got a wire from the Bank of New Orleans. He's got unlimited credit up to maybe $30 million. Now, I don't have to tell you, Alex and me spread out pretty thin. Now, this Sir Thomas is interested in mines. Why don't we sell him the old Silver Queen? She's almost mined out.
Suppose you told Bodine you were going to sell the Silver Queen, didn't you?
We told the Triad.
Oh. You haven't talked to Bodine.
Nobody talks to Zach no more. Nobody even knows where he is. That's the way he set it up.
Nobody. You fellas be careful. Be real careful.
When is that money coming in, Dan?
I don't know. Soon?
Well, we'll just have to take Sir Thomas out to the Queen tomorrow in the Panhandle, and if he's as crazy as he sounds, we'll sell him in a hurry. Here are the production charts on the mine. As you can see, she produces between 15 or 20 tons of ore a month.
What are these little percentages? They seem to be diminishing.
Oh, what that is the percentage of pitch or rock to ore. But with a mine this rich, that'll sometimes go down for a month or so, then climb back up as the mother lode narrows and widens.
I see. Well, oh.
Now, wait till you see this mine. I know you're going to want to buy it.
If you say I should, Mr. Sheridan, then I will. After all, one must trust one's business advisors, mustn't one?
What happened over there?
Oh, a long time ago, a family lived there. They got trapped in a fire. They all died.
Pity. Let's see this mine, shall we?
Well, the mouth of the hole is over here, Sir Thomas. It goes down almost 2 miles.
Really?
Don't you want to see it, sir?
If you say it goes down, Mr. Kenton, then it goes down. Well, I should think this is quite a coup. Shall we, talk terms?
You are now the proud owner of the Silver Queen mine, Sir Thomas.
Oh, I do so hope we find lots of silver. By the way, that rubble pile over there, is that what they call the silver tailings?
That's right. That's the rock that's been chipped away from the nugget.
Herr Claus wanted me to be sure that I own that as well.
Well, it's valueless. I mean, there's silver in it, but there's no way to get it out. What you mine is the nugget. Nobody's found any way to get the silver out of the tailings.
I have a rail car arriving here shortly with some men and equipment. Can it be sent out here?
Equipment?
Well, I may be just a terrible ninny, but I have financed a very famous German geologist, and we have come up with the very first chemically heated mining process. It's really sort of an experiment, and I don't quite understand how it all works, but it's on its way out here.
Wonderful. Good. Well, let's get into town and wrap this up.
John, Sir Thomas, nice to see you again.
Did you have a good trip?
Very good.
Oh, you brought your family.
Maybe it will be good. Maybe we will live here.
We'll make arrangements for you to stay in town. Robert will get you into the carriage.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön.
We'll be switching to another rail.
Also los, alle Mann runter. Einer nach rechts, einer nach links, durch die Mitte durch und überwacht die Sache. Also meine Herren...
Mr. Kenton, what is that thing? A chemical mining plant. Mr. Kenton, this is the man who designed it. Herr Hans Klaus. How do you do?
Freut mich sehr. Bitte um Entschuldigung, meine Frau.
An amazing man. He speaks almost no English, but he has redesigned mining techniques in Europe. Chemical fusion, he calls it. It's all very technical and ever so boring, but it seems to work. Would you arrange to have this rail car sent out to the mine?
Of course.
Over here. Way over here.
Gentlemen.
Why, hello. You look ravishing.
I was certain you were going to call on me, Sir Thomas. 2 days have passed.
I do believe you're blushing, Miss Kenton.
Well, I'd like to get to know you, Sir Thomas. I'd like to hear more of London. We don't get much news from Europe.
Why, it would be my pleasure. Perhaps I could call on you at your home.
Well, I was going to go for a picnic in the country. I packed a lunch. Perhaps.
Why, that would be perfect. As it is, I have nothing planned for this afternoon. Would you get the Klauses settled in the Virginia house? Mm-hmm.
I hope you don't think I'm being too forward, Sir Thomas.
Not at all, Miss Kenton. You're being charming.
Why, thank you. Your poem was awful.
It's not even mine. I read it in a London newspaper a couple of years ago.
Well, why did you say it was yours?
Oh, it amused me at the time. It also seemed to amuse your father's friends.
Well, they don't read poetry. I do. Well, some of them don't even read at all. 15 years ago, they were all miners.
Do you like it here?
Well, I've always lived here. Well, not always. I went to a church school in San Francisco for a while. But it burned down and my father brought me back here. I don't remember very much of it. I was very young.
I lost a sister in a fire.
Were you close?
Oh, I used to tease her a lot. We'd play together. She was the only friend I had when I was growing up. She died when she was 5.
How sad.
It was a long time ago.
The other night at dinner, I kept watching you and thinking what a vain, silly man you were. But all the time, I was hoping that you'd call on me. Isn't that strange?
What do you think of me now?
I like you, Sir Thomas. I like you very much.
I like you, Miss Kenton.
Die Stunde schlägt nun nicht still sein. Die Stunde schlägt nun nicht still sein. Fabido muss nun wieder fort.
All right, off. Where is it? Now fill those saddlebags, and fast.
Oh, Sir Thomas, where have you been?
I got very warm, and I have a dreadful headache. You must know I simply can't stand Mozart unless it's done perfectly. And let me promise you, sir, this was far from perfect.
You Americans and the Germans tend to put too much music in. Where is the Italian purity of Chesty up the valley?
Why, the critic is Sir Thomas Earl.
Stop it, True.
I told you you're wasting your time.
What you wrong about him? We went for a ride in my carriage today, and he definitely is a man who likes women.
Maybe he can be forced into liking something more sporty.
Oh, I guess I'm a sentimental romantic at heart. I can simply swoon at the sound of Rossini, and I cry when Verdi is done to perfection.
May I ask a question?
Of course, please.
What makes you such a crashing bore?
Dear, now you aren't going to cause trouble for me, are you? If I've offended you, I apologize.
You offend me. You offend manhood. You are a simpering fool.
True. Stop it. Your father and I are doing business with Sir Thomas.
Have you no response?
Well, I disagree. Excuse me. The Italian opera is quite old-fashioned. The Germans have put instruments in and livened it.
Don't you ever do that again. You take Dory home.
All right, go on. Give her something to eat. Ain't their fault. Well, quiet down. Everybody go home.
Billy. What happened?
Why don't you make out the report?
Well, it was like your friend Dan lost himself a pile of money. Boys got skinned a few miles out of town tonight. Fellow left this in the box.
How can a man die better? What does it mean?
Mean you got a bad case of the shorts.
Billy? What's the matter?
Well, looks like you lost your poke, Dan. It's too bad. I told you to be careful, remember?
Who do you think robbed that stage or had it done? Billy was the only one who knew that money was coming in.
But we can't prove it was Billy. And I'm out of cash. You're going to have to bail me out.
We'll wire San Francisco right away and cash everything out. We'll have it sent in by special rider.
You all right?
I'm fine. Just fine.
Well, I've been making inquiries about your Mr. Bodine. No wonder you weren't able to find out much. Everybody in the West scared to death of him. And most of the stories I hear are very strange. The best I could find out was that he has some sort of secret organization he calls the Triad. Seems he put together all the land grabbers and backshooters, and he controls them. They pay percentages to him and do what he says.
Where is he?
Nobody knows. I won't say. Thomas, I think you should forget about Bodine. Now, look, if he is what they say, he could be a little too much for us to cope with.
Like devils in my mind, Robert. All lit up by firelight running through our yard. Sometimes I can't see my father's face, but I can always see Bodine's.
What does that say?
Look at that.
Where's that contraption to work?
There ain't no way you can mine silver tailings. This Klaus fella is plucking Sir Thomas clean, the same as you and me. And this Louisiana gentleman has got to be the biggest fool in this whole country.
Sir Thomas!
Mr. Canton. Mr. Sheridan.
Oh, yes, Sir Thomas.
Oh, my, beastly hot. But I suppose one must put up with the elements when one is in the mining business.
This really is something. It's a lot bigger than it looked on that rail car.
Yeah, it's rather frightened me, I must admit. But Mr. Klaus seems to know what he's doing. Oh, it's so terribly hot. I just can't stand this warm weather. Well, I suppose I mustn't hold things up. I'll be all right in a minute. I know you gentlemen will want to know what this operation is all about, although I'm sure you must know much more about it than I do. Now, as Mr. Klaus has told me, rather dusty, the silver tailings are shoveled into this car, and then this car goes down these little tracks into that little shack. That's where we keep our spare parts. Now, as I understand it, when the rock is melted, it then mixes with a chemical that Mr. Klaus has invented. Then this chemical does something to the rock, and that turns the whole mess into a chlorine, gas, water mixture. At least I think it's chlorine. Or is it methanase? Well, no matter. It then comes down through these pipes, and it is cooled by some dreadful smelling goop that Mr. Klaus has invented. And then well, I lose track of what happens next. But it is reheated, or recooled, or something, and then it just drops out of that little spigot over there as pure silver. And I do so love silver. It appears to be working.
Nein, nein, mir gefällt das nicht. Hey, Jungs, die Chemikalien stimmen nicht. Zu viel Fitterdraht.
What did he say?
Is it silver, Sir Thomas?
He's very angry because he has to reheat it and then drain off some chemical. He says it'll all be fine in a moment. Oh, I'm so terribly hot now. I'm quite parched.
You gonna be all right? You did it. Look at that. I don't believe it.
Yes, yes.
I had no idea there was so much silver in the tailings.
I just don't fare well in this heat. Mr. Sheridan, do you suppose that there's something cool to drink in the railroad car?
Oh, I'm sure we could find something, Sir Thomas. Come on.
Jungs, wir müssen mehr Form haben, mehr Form. Los, ich geh nach oben gucken, ja?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, come. All right, I'm coming.
Father? Could I talk to you?
Yeah, just a minute.
It's about Sir Thomas. I hear that you and Mr. Sheridan sold him the Silver Queen.
Yeah, that's right.
But, Daddy, that mine's played out. You've said so 100 times.
I'd appreciate it if you was to leave the business to the men.
But I'm very fond of Sir Thomas. And if you were to sell him a mine that was worthless, well, that might anger him.
I don't think he's a man who's too interested in women. If I was you, I wouldn't depend on too much from him.
Oh, but you're wrong. You're wrong.
Have you made love?
Well, of course not.
But Sir Thomas, he seems to respond to you.
Well, of course, Daddy. A woman can tell.
Well, son of a gun. Son of a gun.
Well, what is it?
I'd be real honored to have Sir Thomas as a son-in-law. Yes, sir, he's got himself one of the nicest little deals this side of Denver.
But he hasn't asked me.
Will you stay here? I'm going into town. Me and Tom are going to set up a situation, and you may just be the glue that holds it together.
Evening, Doc.
Oh, hey, Dan, how are you?
You all right?
Oh, I'm fine.
Excuse me.
Sir Thomas, Mr. Kenton is here.
Sir Thomas, it's Daniel Kenton.
Of course, you idiot. I can still see. Oh, Lord God, that was a bad one.
I never dreamed you were this sick.
Oh, I'm freezing. I've had it before, ever since I was 16. I can't stand warm, dry climates. I think that's what causes it. Last summer in Paris, Only one thing helps. Moist air. It's the reason I live in New Orleans. Oh, the humidity. Oh, I must get to the Delta.
What is it? Consumption?
Lungworm.
Lungworm?
That's right. Can't you hear? Oh, Lord, I'm burning up. Oh, I know. Damn that trip to North Africa. Why did I ever go? I could have stayed home. But Mother told me of the animals, of the lovely birds. No, I do so love birds. It is a parasite, Langutus preceptus.
What are you going to do, sir?
Leave, of course. Go to New Orleans as soon as possible.
What are you going to do about the machine?
Oh, send it home, of course.
Well, Sir Thomas, perhaps I could suggest something that would work for both of us.
Please, Mr. Kenton. I'm very weary now.
What if I buy up all the old silver mines? We could get them at a price. And you could move that machine around by rail car to the different mines. And we could split the profits 50-50.
You mean, leave the machine here in Virginia City?
Look, I'll make it even better for you. I'll put up half of everything I own right now. Mining properties, real estate, house, half of everything against 50% of the profits.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I just don't have the strength to go wading through all that legal folderol. I mean...
I'll put up everything, including the money you paid us for the Silver Queen.
I'll sign all my holdings over to you for an agreement on that machine. You get me a piece of paper. You'll have no deeds and no surveys, just one simple agreement. I, Daniel Kenton, before the undersigned witnesses, sign over my worldly assets to Sir Thomas Earl in exchange for 1/2 ownership in the Earl Klaus chemical silver mining technique. Please, it's worth a fortune. Do it for me. Do it for my daughter, Regina.
Oh, really, I'm so tired, Mr.
You won't regret it.
Now, would you please leave me? All of you, please, get out.
Yes, sir. And thank you, sir.
Please. Thank you.
Will you both sign this, please?
Get going, Jake! Ride!
Pull up! Give me the money.
You tricked me. I went out to the Silver Queen and I tried to run that machine and it doesn't work. Nothing comes out. No silver, nothing. It doesn't work.
Oh, it works. If you want to make beer, it's a brewery machine.
You're not sick. That was an act, too. I want my property back. My house, my mines.
You made a deal, Kenton, signed and witnessed. Go into the beer business.
You're the one that's been holding up the stages. Sheridan thinks it's Billy, but it's you. You get us all involved in business deals, and then you hold up the money that's coming in to pay off our debts. Who are you?
You drop that gun before I take it away from you.
You take another step, and I'll kill you.
I don't think so. Now, Sheridan would, or Billy Bowlegs, or Zach Bodine, but not you. You didn't have the stomach for it 15 years ago, and I don't think you do now.
Who in God's name are you? What did I do to you?
You killed my family, and you stole our mine.
The boy? The little Hollister boy? You know, he died in the fire. Please don't kill me.
Why not?
Regina. I brought her up. I saved her life. Sheridan doesn't even know I found her. She's your sister.
My sister died in a fire that you set.
She's got burned. She thinks she got him in a school fire in San Francisco, but it happened that night. She doesn't remember. She was only 5 years old. I went back the next morning. I found her unconscious near the river. She must have got out the same way you did. I knew Sheridan would kill her. I thought he killed you. So I hid her. I sent her out to San Francisco. And then later, I brought her back. You're right. I never had any heart for this. I tried to make it up the best way I could through Regina.
If she was my sister, I would feel it. I'd know it.
You know it. You must.
You get on your horse, Kenton.
What for?
You're leaving town. You're not taking anything but what you've got on you.
My wife, my family, everything I got's here.
If you'd have given my father a chance to talk before you killed him, those might have been his very words. Now get on your horse, Mr. Kenton. Consider the debt for my sister paid.
You think I don't know what you're trying to pull?
Come on, let's hear it. Think I'm robbing these riders and leaving notes?
Oh, you're crazy as a Mexican rabbit, aren't you, Alex? Then when facing fearful odds, now what does that mean? How the hell do I know? All I'm saying, Alex, I don't have to rob your money. I want what you own. I just wait long enough. Because you're going to drop your dinner sooner or later.
I think it's Sir Thomas.
Sir Thomas can't even get up on a horse, not a footstool.
He's over there at the Virginia house, sick as a mule. Now, this man's a fast draw, and he rides like an express rider.
And writes poems.
Poems, huh? What poems? He relieves notes.
Put them together, and it's the first two lines of a verse.
Go on, tell me.
How can a man die better than when facing fearful odds? Two more lines finishes the verse.
Shoot, boy, don't you know anything? Don't you know how to judge a man? Sir Thomas ain't no threat to nobody. Except maybe the fellow who sings off the opera house.
Oh, wait a minute. True may be right. I mean, what better way for a man to hide than to be a fool and bedridden?
You know, I had a funny feeling about that guy first time I met him. You remember that? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's go over there and see if we can get him out of bed. And if we can, then I think maybe your boy's right. I mean, you're a smart kid, aren't you? You went to college, huh?
I have wanted to try his blade. Maybe with a little leverage we can get him up out of that sick bed.
Yeah, maybe the little boy, Klaus's kid. He's very protective of him.
All right, I'll tell you what. Alex and me find a nice spot in the morning. If he's better with a sword than you are,
We'll kill him for you. Set it up first thing in the morning. Happy days.
You tried to destroy my father. You have been cavalier with Regina Kenton. I'm here to demand satisfaction for both.
I'm sorry. I have no stomach for fighting.
Come on, Sir Thomas. Surely that can't be the case. Unless you are a coward. Or perhaps a woman.
Please, I beg you. Don't do this.
The Klaus boy. I've got him.
What do you want of me?
Perhaps we can test your point? The cemetery.
Now, what have I done to you? I pray tell. This is insane.
In 10 minutes. If you're not there, the little boy gets it for you.
have no quarrel with you. Let me have the boy.
Might interest you to know that I was fencing champion at Brighton.
Let me have the boy. We don't need to go through with this.
Oh, but we do.
Chuck Hollister. Robert, would you please take this to the bank? I want everything that Kenton owns signed over to Regina. House, property, everything. Except the old Silver Queen. You tell him I'll be by later to sign the deeds.
You going to see Regina? She loved Kenton as a father. Of course, that doesn't excuse what he did, but be careful, Thomas. Remember when you lost your father, how you felt.
Where's my father? What have you done with him?
Your father's been dead 15 years. Am I gonna have to come up there after you?
I know you from long ago, don't I?
Melissa. Come with me, please. Please, Melissa?
Where are we? What is this place?
Don't you recognize it?
Who am I?
Your name is Melissa Hollister. You're my sister.
Chuck.
Yeah.
never stopped missing you, never stopped loving you.